is Yang Gang. This is Andrew Yang, a presidential candidate who supports a bunch of different things. He's got 76 proposals, but I ain't going through all of them. The Yang Gang, or hashtag Yang Gang, are, much like the Bernie Bros, a supporter of this political candidate. Bernie Bros aren't supporters of this political candidate. I mean, like Bernie Bros being supportive of Bernie Sanders, the Yang Gang are supportive of Andrew Yang. As I may or may not have already mentioned, because I can't remember what I said 30 seconds ago, Andrew Yang is a presidential candidate who supports things like I have listed on a notepad over there. Starting with autism. That's supposed to be the autism puzzle piece, okay? He supports autism because apparently his son is on the autism spectrum. I can respect that. I can support that because I too support the autisms. Next up, he supports nuclear energy, like in Springfield, but without all of the toxic waste and meltdowns that come with it, because nuclear energy is clean, or can be, with the proper regulations and policies and what have you. This is one that he kind of gets criticized a little bit for, but I don't understand why, since nuclear energy being better than some of the alternatives has been proven, namely coal and natural gas. And it's much more efficient than solar or wind, which require a lot of space and just don't work everywhere. After that, in a kind of related topic, he wants to take nuclear launch authority. Well, what am I doing? He wants to take nuclear bombs away from the president with the tie. No more nukes, President Trump, not for you. Though, realistically, Trump wouldn't be the president if Andrew Yang got elected, so, I mean, but this is an example. That isn't to say that the president would have no role in the launching of nukes, it just wouldn't be a unilateral decision. Right now, it's like, if the president's like, you know what, screw you, Russia, he can just launch those nukes and the world will end. Goodbye, Earth. Not with Andrew Yang in office. After that, he has a bunch of socialist programs, like education programs and counseling programs, but not free healthcare. That's still gonna cost you money for healthcare. He wants to regulate AI technology so the robots can't take us over. And this is Andrew Yang with his little tie and his very presidential hair. But curiously, despite being all pro-regulating AI technology and self-driving cars and stuff, nobody in the driver's seat but lots of people in the back. He wants to automate the government with robots on the phones for like information services, like if you need to speak to a doctor and there aren't any, you'll talk to a robot doctor. He wants smaller government with less bureaucracy, which is kind of related to the AI phone rep thing, because like the less people there are in the government, the less money the government needs to operate, and it's just a trickle-down effect or something. So this is the government as it is, and this is Andrew Yang just saying like smaller, and it shatters, because that was his finger at the beginning and now it's a pew pew pew. So now the government's little, because it shrunk, because the bubble has been bursted. Gov, Lil Gov, Big Gov, Andrew Yang. He also wants laws to expire. So this is Congress on their benches, passing laws. Yay! And this is the little peoples over here with their frowny faces because now they're oppressed by the laws of the Congress and the benches, which are eternal until the little people grow up and become Congress and say nay and repeal. Which they won't, because now they're old and no longer oppressed. So the logic here being, if Congress says yay because they really gave a rat's patootie about something, they gotta say yay again sometime later, and then again, and then again, and then again, and then again, forever, in order for that law to stay a law. Because if they don't, it becomes a nay and the law goes away. Now, this could be a good thing, depending on the law. Or it could be a terrifying thing, depending on the law. He wants to make it so that regulators can't work for the industries that they regulate. So this is some FCC guy with his tie, working for some regulations, and then goes to work for Verizon or Comcast after doing a bunch of things over here that benefit these guys. So you see a problem there, right? When you make laws and policies while in office for a company that you already have a job lined up with when you're no longer in office, that is corruption. And the opposite is also true. He doesn't want people who used to work for big companies to work for the regulatory committees that oversee those companies. Long story short, he doesn't want Agit Pie with his big ol' Reese's cup passing laws and repealing stuff and then going to work for Verizon or Comcast or whichever company he's working for or gonna be working for. He also doesn't want them accepting money from lobbyists. Give me those dollar signs. That way there'll be no more corruption like you'll find inside of Agit Pie's Reese's cup. Corruption juice. Tastes so good. But that's one that I imagine there's probably a lot of support for because it's kind of a problem in our government. But the big one that everyone cares about, the big one that Yang Gang is all about is the $1,000 a month. UBI. Universal Basic Income. The idea behind Universal Basic Income is that every month the government gives you money for existing. In this case, it'll be $1,000 to do with whatever you want. Now, this may sound like some socialist commie nonsense crap, but as previously mentioned, we live in a world with robots, and robots are taking our jobs. And it's gonna get to a point where there are no longer any jobs to be got. Now, people like to say, oh, Trump has increased the jobs since he's been in office. But the thing is you might be able to increase the jobs while the jobs are there, but once the robots are working the jobs, then the humans won't be. No jobs for humans. Only the robots, because they're free after the initial payment. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to be in the immediate future. It doesn't mean it's going to be in the within the next 10 or 20 years. But it's going to happen eventually. Now, you got these, boomerish people saying things like, oh, you shouldn't be working for McDonald's when you're 30. Or you shouldn't be working for the Burger King when you're 30. So my brother came home and completely derailed my train of thought, 100%. This is my brother coming in the front door on the other side of the house, and I'm way over here, and then he's like, Adam, at the top of his friggin' lungs. That was 2 hours ago. I had to edit the rest of the video just to get back to where I was when he... Boomers! Or the boomerly minded among the population like to say that entry-level positions are not meant forever. You have the Burger Kings, and the McDonald's, and the Wendy's, and the KFC jobs that are supposed to be for kids. Grown men and women aren't supposed to work those jobs. They're not supposed to support families on those jobs. The problem with that logic is there are only so many skilled positions. When they say that employment is up, they're not just talking about electricians and mechanics and... That's supposed to be a lightning bolt. I failed. And like engineering jobs to create the robots that are gonna take our jobs. They're talking about the little jobs that make up the vast majority of the open positions, because there's like this many jobs that are like skilled, high-paid labor compared to like... Each one of those little loops is like 100 friggin' heads. And here's the thing. These are the people who are saying, no, you shouldn't be working those jobs. And each one of these people has one vote, okay? Each one of these people has one vote. Now remember, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 1900. 1900 people. I don't know what the actual numbers are. I'm just trying to illustrate for you that the majority of the unskilled workforce vastly outweighs the voting power of the skilled minority workforce. So when all of these jobs are gone and these people are like, well, what am I supposed to do? And these people are saying, go to school, learn a trade. They're gonna be like, with what? Money. And these people are gonna be like, no money, only learn a trade. It's like that meme with the dog who's like, no tuition, no handouts, only school, or no this, only that. They can't wrap their heads around the fact that their way of doing things is not the way the world works. For anyone, not even themselves. It's like the people who think they need a car to get a job when nobody in America can friggin' afford to own a car. And that's another thing. There's a million jobs over here on the other side of a big river with no boats or bridges to get these people across. That's the highways. That's the mountains between two towns. Where I live, there's like no friggin' jobs. But there's tons of jobs within a 10-mile radius if you own a car that the job would pay for. But where's the extra money gonna come from working the job if all your money's going into the car? Needless to say, well, it's not really needless. I guess that's why I'm saying it. As I already touched upon moments ago, the vast majority of the workforce is unskilled, low-pay, entry-level workers. When all those jobs are gone, and all those little people are frowny-facing because they have no money, and they're being denied their health care, and they're being denied foods, and they're dying in the streets, who are they going to vote for? They're going to vote Wang Gang. Because Wang Gang may not be offering them free health care, but he's offering them $1,000 a month, which they're gonna need when there are no jobs. Unless you can go to college and learn the books, which costs money. Because nobody is offering free education either. New York State supposedly was offering free education. Their program was, oh, you go to school for so many years, you have to stay in the state for that many years after you get your degree, and it's free. But then when you actually looked into it, it didn't work for anyone. Nobody got that. And the people who really needed it, or maybe some people got it, but the people who really needed it, the people who were raising 3 kids and were almost 30 years old and had no chance, no eligibility for any of the frickin' government assistance programs, couldn't get it because they were past the age range. So who was it for? Universal basic income is an inevitability. It may not be in the near future because we still have a functioning job market. We still have jobs, but that's not going to always be the case. We're going to get to a point where there will either need to be a massive die-off of the population, or they need to make money free and just give it to people, or just get rid of money altogether. Thank you for watching. I apologize for the angry turn at the end of this video. It wasn't my intention. I meant for this to be lighthearted and jovial all the way through, but it's a topic that I had to record twice because the first time the camera died, I think I mentioned that, and then on top of having to record it twice, I was interrupted. Make sure to do subscribes on the play button, play sub, smash like, and the bell, and follows on the bird, and the Instagram at Here's Jolly. And since I forgot to give you a smiley face in the last video, here's 2 smiley faces. Whoa, cat!